Hello, super awesome stampers. This is super awesome stamper Shirley Merker. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Wisconsin, USA. In this video, I am sharing how you can craft along with me and create this hand stamp greeting card. It's part of my Cards with Creativity online retreat for March 31st and April 1st, 2023. So let's get started. My card base is Blackberry Bliss. And I'm in the US, so I have imperial measurements, but I also have metric measurements for you. So this is the standard card base, 5.5 tall, 8.5 scored at 4 1/4. And then we've got some stamping to do, so let's get some of that done first. We've got a bee, the large bee. This is from the Queen Bee stamp set and coordinating die bundle. I am using Blackberry Bliss ink. And I'm using a lot of scraps today. So this was a scrap of basic white. Set that aside. And then this is from the Pretty Prints Designer Series paper pack. We are going to attempt to stamp the Happy Straight on camera. Oh, pretty good. Okay, and if I didn't like it, nope, that's really good. I like that. Okay, then let's do the inside. So we've got this long knotted lattice. We did one right here. And then I did 3 on this Pretty Prints pattern paper. Ooh, I'm getting glare from my lights. I'm gonna try to do 3. Somewhat straight side by side. Good. Okay, and before I get rid of those pieces, or those stamps, guess what? The envelope is going to get a large queen bee. It'll fit right on the flap. Nice. All right, bring this back in. Working on the inside, so I've got the crown at the top and the smaller flower. And then there's these little, I don't know if you want to call them pebbles, distressed. There, that'll jazz up the inside. Okay, now let's work on the outside. Now, I chose this technique because people often forget that if they don't like some of their pattern paper, they can jazz it up and continue to use it and use it up and get it out of their stash. But they can jazz it up by making their own patterns on. So we've got this fun little tight press. And all you do is stamp in random patterns, kind of random, not really. So you can see that I did 3 in a line diagonal, 1 on the corner and 1 up there. You're always doing like the power of 3 triangles. So do the largest stamp first and then come in with the smaller stamps and fill in the empty spots. So we're going to do bees everywhere. And I like to keep a clean mat, so I've got some scrap paper behind this so I can stamp off. Oh, and that one I didn't get quite straight. I didn't hit my block quite on, but I'm not worried about it. I love this look. It's that organic look. You don't have to be so precise with what you're doing. And then I don't need this area filled in because we are going to put that there. You can fill it in if you want. Nobody's going to see it. I'm just going to fill in with these little micro dots. Any kind of empty space, giving it that distressed look. There. Done with those. And done with that. Okay, done with my scrap paper. Picking that, pulling that in. Now let's start to assemble, and I'll give you some measurements here. Now I have 2 pieces of this basic white. Measures 4 by 5 1/4. It's just that first standard layer, either a 1/4 inch down from your base if you're imperial, or 1/2 centimeter down if you're in metric. And I see I've got some ink there, so let's glue that side down first. This is the inside piece. Now, in your instructions, your tutorial that you got, since you are attending our online retreat, the measurements for your pattern paper actually overlap the white piece, but, so the measurements for this pretty print is 4 by 5 1/4, or 10 by 13.9 centimeters. I wanted the distress look, so I'm just gonna rip some off. And whatever you rip off, you are going to put in the inside. So I didn't add to my scrap pile. I kind of like this look because the core is white. It's not colored. And we've got some white tones on this card. It's like that. This one's got a little jaggedy at the top that I don't like. There, more roundish. Okay. Glue this down. So rip off as much as you want. I just wanted a little bit of that white showing. Okay, and flip it shut. And grab your liquid glue. Here's where that fine nozzle end works wonders for smaller, thinner pieces. And I'm going to put this one almost all the way to the edge. Oops. Will bounce up because it is curled since we ripped it. Hold it down for a few seconds to help it dry in place. Okay, flip this shut. All right, next up, went in my scrap pile and found this strip. Highly recommend that you keep your strips because they are a great little add-on embellishment. Blackberry Bliss strip measures 1/2 inch by 4 inches. Or, and I'm going to use my liquid glue, 1.5 by 10 centimeters. Again, use whatever strip you got in your stash. I certainly wouldn't cut a new piece of cardstock for a little strip like this. Even if you have a white strip or even a Calypso Coral strip. Okay, if you're recreating further cards. If you're creating along with me, you probably cut one and have it ready. Okay. All right, next is this die from the He's All That dies. Just cut from a scrap of basic white, and I embossed it using the Hive 3D embossing folder. This one, whoops, I am going to use glue so that it sinks into all those little honeycomb pieces. And then press down. And then our little happy tag. And this, the die cut, it's stitched. It is part of the die set. And then I've already die cut a few things. So here's the bee that I die cut. I got a tip for that. And then here is the wings. Here's that label. And it has stitching on it, so it adds a nice little detail. Okay, here's the bee that I cut. The wings I've already attached on a glue dot. I want to give you a tip though, if you get this die set. You are going to want to look through these 4 holes, and you are going to want to see ink through those holes. So here, I'm not sure if you'll be able to see. I can see ink on these 2 holes, but not those 2, which means it isn't going to cut quite right. So you will just need to look in your holes, and now it's dark. I can see ink on all 4 holes. Look at the top. Now you should have a perfect cut. If you don't see ink on all 4 holes, you'll need to move it a little bit because otherwise it's not going to be a perfect cut like that. Kind of looks like it would work, but no. It'll have a little more white on the left side of the body. All right, so it looks a little better like that. Okay, we are going to, oh, see, I stamped this one. I think I re-inked my ink pad after I stamped that one. Ooh, but nobody will ever know I tried to re-stamp that because I didn't like however it inked the first time. All right, our little delicate wings using the Pretty Prints Designer Series paper to color coordinate, of course. And the last thing would be to bring in our Pearls Basic Jewels. And I don't see my take your pick tool. Oh, here it is. You can use, oh, I grabbed my paper snips. You can use your paper snips to pull up these jewels. I put one on the 3 flowers on the back of the queen bee's back. So the very tip of the paper snips is very thin, so it does work to pick these up. Just make sure that you take care when you use the paper snips because they are very sharp. And if it jumps up like that, that's totally fine. Just take your tip and grab it. And then when I'm placing it on my paper, I'm putting my finger over it and sliding the scissors off. There. All right, so this is the card, the sample card, and here's the one I just created. And here is the coordinating envelope. So wouldn't you be happy to receive one of these in your mailbox, the snail mailbox? I would be. I hope you enjoyed my presentation of the Queen Bee stamp set and coordinating dies. This is my second card that featured this bundle. Make sure you go back to your PDF file that was emailed to you to find the YouTube links for all of the rest of the demonstrations that were presented during our Cards for Creativity online retreat, March 31st and April 1st, 2023 in our Zoom calls. Hope you enjoyed creating with me, and we'll stamp with you soon. Bye.